So, if business ownership feels very mysterious, then this is the video for you because in this video, I want to outline some essential insights for every franchisepreneur. If you're new to my channel, hello and welcome. So, my name is Kim Daly. I'm a franchise consultant. And for the last 20 years of my life, I have been helping people just like you say yes to the dream to own a business by aligning their background, interests, skills, finances, and life goals to some of the best franchise opportunities out there today. So if you get inspired to begin your journey, Kim Daly wants to be your franchise consultant. So stay with me until the end of the video and I will share how you can be my next candidate. So let's talk about some essential insights for franchisepreneurship because I think when you're out there thinking about franchising, it seems so mysterious. Like it's this big industry, and where do I begin? And you hear about businesses like Chick-fil-A and Jersey Mike's, and you think franchising is only food and retail. And then you land on a YouTube channel with over 1,000 videos here at Kim Daly TV on the subject of franchising. Some videos talking about why franchising is more than food and retail and why, as one of America's top franchise consultants, you're going to have to beg me to show you food and retail. And it probably just makes the whole conversation seem that much more confusing because you're like, if it's not food and retail, what is it? What is this franchise thing? And what do I really need to know in order to begin? So let's break it down. It's really not that complicated. So when you are investing in a franchise, you are buying a proven business system. So you're going to partner yourself with people who've already figured out how to make money. So starting a business from scratch as an entrepreneur means that you're going to go out there with an idea and then you're going to have to flush that idea out. You have to define the customer avatar, figure out the marketing, figure out how to attract those people, figure out what the price point is, figure out how to source the product, figure out everything. When you invest in a proven franchise, you are buying down the learning curve because somebody else has already gone out there and figured it all out. And they've packaged it up and they're giving it to you for the price of a franchise fee. Okay. So the one-time fee that you pay in a franchise is called the franchise fee. And that buys you access to everything the franchisor has created. I call the franchise fee the cost of entry into their Disneyland. So that's the money that buys down the learning curve. It has nothing to do with starting your business. That has everything to do with buying the business plan and the initial training and the vendors and the technology and the ongoing support and all of the things that help you buy up the ramp up speed and statistically buy success. Because the one thing we can't forget, entrepreneurship comes with a statistic of 90% failure before the fifth anniversary. That is not a statistic that is owned in franchising. In fact, every business that you explore, they will disclose their success or failure rate, however you want to look at it, in their franchise disclosure document, which is a legally binding document that the Federal Trade Commission requires a franchise business to offer to you. It offers you disclosure about everything in the company, how the company got started and if they've ever been sued and all the things you want to know and need to know before you legally become an investor and a partner with a franchisor. So that success and or failure rate is in there. But going back to the essential insights, so I want you to understand what a franchise actually is, what you're doing. The value proposition here is that you're buying down the learning curve, you're buying up the ramp up speed, and statistically, you're buying success because you're partnering yourself with people who are not just going to give you a business plan, they're going to train you, and then they're going to be there to support you for the royalty dollars that you give back to them, which is a percentage of your gross revenue. They're going to be there to support you. So you pay royalty and they're there to support you. So if you're out there exploring a business called a business opportunity or a license, So that can feel like a franchise, except there's no royalty commitment. Why? Because there's typically no ongoing support. So a biz op or a license is where you buy a proven business model and then you go out on your own, you name your business whatever you want, and you have no ongoing support. But in a franchise, we all have the same brand name and we have that ongoing support. So as the economy changes and the business might have to adapt, as the competition changes and the business might have to adapt, as things happen and you need to adapt your business model, you're not out there on an island trying to figure it all out. What do I do? Getting in the fetal position, like go back to 2020. How many entrepreneurs didn't make it simply because they couldn't figure out how to solve the problems in their business? But in my franchising world, none of my franchisors went out of business. Why? Because collectively, we're just stronger together. There's more resources, there's more minds coming together to solve for the problem. And those minds are not just a corporate entity. It's all of the other franchisees who are just like you, who have all the same concerns, all the same insecurities, all the same worries, who are taking a leap of faith just like you. And so you're all in this together. In fact, as a franchise matures and you get 50 to 100 or 200 franchisees, the franchisees really are the ones who are responsible for the culture of the franchise. So it starts out as a vision led by the franchisor who's trying to carry that vision out into the United States using your time and your money and all of the other franchisees' time and money. But in time and over time, as franchisee numbers grow, it's up to the franchisees to carry that flag, to hold true to the values of the franchise. So when you see these great American franchise brands like Planet Fitness, like Massage Envy, like Chick-fil-A, we all want to be a part of those. But the time to be a part of those franchises is before they're big brand names that we all know and love. Why? Because when they're at the stage where we already know them and love them, there's either no territory available where we live, or you're going to be paying some big fat multiple to a franchisee who deserves it because they built this profitable business and they can command that. So wouldn't you rather be the franchisor who brings the emerging brand into the market and builds it to that stage so that then you can be getting some big fat multiple of what you've built? I think so. Well, there's actually an investment for every investor, and that's part of why you use Kim Daly instead of figuring that out for yourself. But by and large, when a brand is rising, I believe that's the most exciting time to invest in the franchise and the most profitable. Not just for the cash flow, but for the equity that you're building in that brand as all of the franchisees are building this brand and the brand goes on to become the next big American brand. So that's the essential factor. That's the value proposition of a franchise. Now, you are building cash flow that you get to own and control. You are building tax advantages. So it's not how much we make, it's how much we keep. You want those tax shelters. And you're building equity that is yours. So when you decide to sell your business, you can apply some multiple to that equity you've built and sell your business. Okay. So that's what we're doing in a franchise. The other essential insights I want you to take away from this video are these things. So, as the CEO of your business, this is still your business to call the shots and to make the decisions. So, you're going to be following the franchisor's lead, but it's up to you to execute on the plans that they've given to you. And that's where you have to use your thinking strategy. You have to use your will. You have to use your discipline to get into that model and to follow through. You're going to hire the team. You're going to build the sales process. You're going to create a customer experience so that people want to come back. That's your job as the CEO and the owner of this business. There are many people out there, many people who come to Kim Daly who are like, yes, I want to build a business, but in 3 to 5 years, I want to be totally absent. I'm like, yeah, every business owner wants to be totally absent. I totally get it. And I'm not telling you you can't, But what I am going to tell you is that you might have to work a little bit harder for a little bit longer before you get to that stage. It depends on your leadership. It depends on the business. It depends on the team that you have. There's a lot of depends in that equation. But I'm going to tell you, I've been a business owner now in a franchise for 23 years. And here I am on a Tuesday night about 8 p.m. making videos for you. Do I resent the fact that I'm up here working tonight? No. I love my business. I love the time that I put into my business to help you because I know every time I make another video that's going to be released, there are going to be people that get inspired by that video to reach out to me, and I'm going to be able to help them change their life. That's why I do what I do. So, an essential insight to investing in a franchise is not just understanding what you're doing, but it's also investing in the right franchise, the franchise that speaks to your core values, the franchise that ignites a passion in you, the franchise that inspires you to want to work to where work feels effortless. Like I'm up here on a Tuesday night at 8 o'clock because this is effortless for me. I love what I do. I want to inspire your dream because that's what I live for. So, whatever business you're in, I want you to find that passion in you. And that doesn't mean you're going to have to work at 8 o'clock on a Tuesday night in your business, but it means that if you need to do that, you'll enjoy doing it because you love this business and everything that you're putting into your business, you're getting back. There's a law of reaping and sowing. And in a franchise, just like any other business, this is a true statement. The more you give, the more you're going to receive. You can't break the law and try to not be giving and only receiving. That's not the way it works. There's a lot of people out there who try to make that happen in a franchise, but that's why there's a lot of people in franchising who aren't really successful because they don't understand that you're going to receive only to the extent that you give. Now, that doesn't mean it has to be your time, but it means your leadership over your team who then is putting in the time in your business. Okay, so that's an essential insight to franchising. This is your business to make or break. Sometimes people will say, well, if franchising is so good, Kim, then why do franchises fail? Franchises don't fail. People fail, right? So we know the plan works. The question we're asking is, are you going to work the plan? And how hard are you going to work the plan? So my franchise business plan has been the same for 23 years. And you might know my story if you've spent some time on Kim Daly TV, but I spent 8 years fumbling around as an average performer. And back in the first 8 years, I probably wasn't in my office at 8 o'clock on a Tuesday night. But here I am 13 years later as a history maker, a legendary franchise consultant who's built an amazing business that many people who do what I do would love to have. And I'm passionate about what I do. And I'm working at 8 o'clock on a Tuesday night, if you call this work, making you a video because it's what I do to do what I do at the level that I do it. So the essential takeaways from this video are, I want you to understand the value proposition of franchising. I want you to understand that this is a business and it's yours to make or break. I want you to understand that you are building cash flow and equity and creating tax advantages that you own and control, that you can build and leave as a legacy, or that you can sell when you are ready to get out. I want you to understand that business ownership inside a franchise, while easier than entrepreneurship, it's never easy. You have to apply your thinking. You have to apply your will. You have to apply your tenacity, your focus, your determination. You have to apply a big, strong, motivating why that gets you in your office at 8 o'clock on a Tuesday night because you're driven. You're driven to give. And in that drive to give, you know, in time and overtime, you will receive. So if you want to build a legendary business or you just want to change your life and get control and not have to work for somebody else's goals and dreams in corporate America, you can accomplish that here through the proven systems of a franchise. It's all right here for you. I need you to follow the link in the description below right now, and we will start this conversation of your why. Why do you want to own a business? And I will pull out of you all of the characteristics that will help align you to the right franchise business that will tap into your core skills, that will tap into the passion that you have so that you can go and live your dreams by helping other people, by serving other people. And if your business requires you to be in your office at 8 o'clock on a Tuesday night like Kim Daly, you will be smiling from ear to ear, feeling immensely blessed at the opportunity to be able to do what you do. That's how I feel. I never resent what I do. What I do is a dream. The tagline to my company is the best dreams are those we live. And do you know when I wrote that tagline? I wrote that tagline smack dab in the middle of making videos for you. There was a time when I used to make all my videos for a month in one day. The videographer guy came, we set up my home as the studio, and off we went for 8 or 10 hours making videos. And on one of those days, I was deep in the middle of making a video, and I realized I was living a lifelong dream. So, side note to Kim Daly, I grew up on the stage in the Miss America pageant organization. I was in talent shows. I was in theater. I was in speech competitions. You name it. If there was an opportunity for me to be on a stage, to me to be inspiring people or talking to people or entertaining to people, I was in. So here I was in a franchise consulting business, which I thought was a deviation from my life's plan because I did not wake up and go, oh, yeah, my dream is to be a franchise consultant. And I found myself smack dab in the middle of making a video for you and realizing I was living my dream of being a movie star here on Kim Daly TV. And at the end of that video shoot, I said to myself, you know what? The best dreams we have really are the ones that we get to live. Who out there doesn't want to live their dreams? Everybody wants to live their dreams. You don't want to just dream the dream. You want to live the damn dream, right? That's what I'm doing. That's why I'm so passionate. That's why I don't care if it's Tuesday night at 8 or Saturday morning at 8. You may find me right here in my studio working to be better for you. Because when I'm better for you, then I get to live my dreams. And I want to help connect you to a franchise that affords you the same passion. It doesn't mean you're going to work at 8 o'clock on a Tuesday or 8 a.m. on a Saturday. That's what I choose to do for me. But I want to help find the business that helps you find your dreams, that helps you wake up to live the dreams that right now are only dreams. So let's do it. Follow the link in the description right now. I really can't wait to meet you. Thank you so much for watching the video until the end. I'll see you in the next one.